back to the Conscious Crew podcast. We are getting close to our new year, 2020, coming up here very soon.
Roaring 20s.
Right. Good riddance to 2019.
Yeah, this is
goodbye.
going to be our last show of 2019 and the first of the year 2020, a new decade. Yeah. So I think it's only fitting that we talk about, the stereotypical conversation of a new year, which is...
This is gonna be
new year, new me.
New me.
Cutting all those toxic people off.
Yeah. The memes are going crazy. The internet is viral right now with all this content. But we do think it is important, to post or to discuss some goal setting. So how can we set goals and actually achieve them, and
actually stick to them.
Right. Yeah, that's the like everyone knows what they want, but how can we achieve that? So
actually some people don't know what they want.
That's true too. Yeah, you're right.
So you might want to do some visualizations. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what you want, try to come up with something.
What makes you happy? That's what I always go with is like I want to be in this career path. How can I make it happen? That's I don't want to work, flipping burgers or whatever it is. So how can I do my passion and then start to work into a way of doing it for a living where I actually make enough money to support myself and my family doing that. That's the end game, right, for everyone, I would say. So if we're going to set a goal, what do you think is important?
I definitely think, just like we just said, knowing what you want. I think, the goals need to be realistic. You can't just say, by the end of 2020, I'm going to be a multimillionaire living in a mansion. Like, you do have to realize that you need to set the goals kind of based on where you are right now.
Right.
Like, could you imagine what you would have to do to become a millionaire in 1 year?
Scratch off a ticket.
That could happen. However, you might have to sell your kidneys. Because, I can think of all kinds of terrible ways.
A kidney will get you about 30 to 40,000.
There's good ways too, but good luck. What would you have to give up? You'd have to give up a lot of time.
Yeah.
Well,
in most situations, you would have to give up a lot of time. You might have to give up a lot of relationships. Not even $1 million. Really, when you think about what you want, you might have to think about some things that you'll have to let go of in order to achieve that goal.
Yeah.
And that's just anything. That's just like if you want to be running your own business, by June, and you want to start profiting by December. Well, you might have to let go of some things. Before you make a goal, I think you should really do some thinking, some visualization, some introspection, and kind of realize that stuff first, and then go into goal setting. But
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think it is. It's a lot of people say, I want to start my own business. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's kind of your end goal from where you're at now, because what do you need to do to start the business? So you need
steps.
Right. Everything is an action step. So you got to get your LLC set up or whatever that is. You need to. Well, what kind of services are you going to provide? What kind of business is this? Mm-hmm. So something that we had talked about before and you brought up was the acronym. So the acronym was SMART, a SMART goal. So that was
specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So SMART is the acronym for...
so specific. Know exactly what your goal is. So what kind of business are you talking here? However that applies to your goal.
And what actions you're going to take. Right. There's also, it's kind of cutting into explaining the acronym. There's also, a lot of planners that can help you with SMART goals that you can buy, off of Amazon. That'll help you with setting goals, but...
Right. So we're in a...
I read in a book somewhere, it says if you don't know where you want to go, you'll never get there. So that's something, I'm big into philosophies and ideas and stuff like that. So I think that is very important to at least have, not necessarily it has to be this certain way, but kind of get the feel of where you want to be.
Right.
Or I feel like people, whenever I don't have goals, and whenever other people don't have goals, they just always kind of come off as floating, or they just keep you know, their actions don't really make sense because when we're talking about the S and SMART, which was specific, you do have to think that like you want your actions to start aligning with your goals, with your intentions. Like the actions that you're going to take need to be specific to your goal. So you can't necessarily say, hey, I want to lose, 100 pounds. You can say I want to lose 100 pounds, but what actions are you willing to take? Because your daily actions are going to have to match your goal.
And so if your weight loss goal, then you would say, to lose this weight, every Tuesday at 5 o'clock, I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to pop in this video or go to this YouTube program and do this exercise for X amount of time. I'm going to complete this video, and then I'm going to do this 3-4 times a week or whatever. And then, and then measurable would obviously, and in that case, it'd be, am I losing the weight that I'm asking for? Or maybe I need to set some
what
guidelines for my
data is
diet
going to be
as well,
used to measure the goal? How will you know if you're meeting that goal? How will you know if you're close to meeting the goal? Measurable. Like you can't. What's an example of a not measurable goal?
Well, I think when we go back to the business example, it would be like, I'm going to start a business. Okay, perfect. So you need
by
to
when?
get the
You need to know by when.
Yep, by when, but also to be measurable, we need to say, hey, I want to start this business and I want to make my first $1,000. Because if you just say, hey, I'm going to start this business, okay, now you've got a business, but you've got the structure or the idea of a business, but how are you going to make it measurable by selling your service or your product?
And you have to actually, when you're making it measurable, you have to know, like, how do I know, a good question to ask yourself on the way to meeting your goal is, how do I know if I'm on the way to meeting my goal? Well, am I making $500 by June 30th? Will I have office space by June 30th? I mean, so you have to make it measurable. There has to be like dates, numbers.
Right, definitely. So then achievable is our next, was the A. SMART, okay? So achievable is to say, like we said, if I say, I'm going to make $1 million in my new business, or hey, I'm going to get this 6-pack when, that's maybe not realistic for you. By summertime, if you've got a ton of weight to lose, then that may not be achievable goal.
And then also, do you have? Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, now challenge yourself with that though, because a lot of things that people say are unachievable. You can achieve if you really do the work. So.
But I think one thing also with achievable is like know yourself. Like, do you have the necessary skills and resources to achieve your goal? Because if you don't, you're going to be setting goals that aren't really realistic. You need to, if you don't have the skills, you'll also have to start planning, what do I need to do to get that skill? So
wait, do you mean the $1 million book I bought that it says make $1 million in 2 weeks isn't an accurate book?
But let's say that book involves you building a website.
Right.
Do you know how to build a website, or do you
Right.
know somebody who knows how to build a website in your budget? It's just kind of like either you'll have to plan, like, do I have the skills and resources already? If not, how can I get them? What classes can I take on like udemy.com or, Lynda? Lynda's like an app, I believe it's Lynda, and you can go learn about different things like coding and things like that and teach yourself online. There's so many options for that. And then resources. Oh my goodness.
Do we get paid for that plug? Because that sounded
It's not. No, this is not.
You're a sponsorship.
You're definitely not getting paid for that plug, but I believe in it so much that I'm definitely. It was definitely helpful, and it's a low price. So.
While we're on that, I think that a lot of times, people say they want to be start the business, or they want to be a musician, or they want to do this or that. A lot of times, maybe your goal could be, I want to complete this training, or something like that can help you in your broader goal. That makes your goal more relevant. Like, so if you, for example, like you said, you want to be a musician, or maybe you need to get some training or have a mentor on how to get your music out there, or how to up the quality of your production, or and the things that you're working on. I think that for a long time that was a block that I had. I said, well, we'll figure this out as we go. I mean, the rate that you can figure things out on your own is so much lower than it's even as a DJ. There's been things that I really didn't know about as a DJ, and then I go into another guy that could show me something that was like that long. I was like, wow.
Right.
That took you like 15 seconds. I've been like trying to figure this out for like 10 years, so this would have helped me a long time ago. So
I guess
getting around those professionals could be important.
And the R stands for relevant, which is what you were just kind of explaining. Like, does the goal align with your broader goals?
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
Like,
okay.
the little goals.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
are they helping you? Like, for example, I just wrote on my calendar when I put up the 2020 calendar that one of my goals is going to be to reorganize my kitchen, because I feel like I've lived in the place that I've lived for over a year and I haven't really made it more functional. Like I'm starting to get frustrated because there's just stuff in my cupboards that I'm probably never going to use.
You got to get your feng shui right.
Right. I got it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go on Pinterest and look up feng shui, look up like the Marie Kondo, what is it? Anyway, minimalism type things, and figure out how to like reorganize my kitchen in a way that's going to be functional for my family. Of course, that's going to help me in any broader goal.
Right. You can do more with less, they say.
But it's a goal, so hopefully I stick to it.
And on the point of relevance, one of the things I love about me and Marty's friendship is that we speak on what we want to happen. We don't speak too much on, this bad thing might happen, this bad thing might happen, this bad thing might happen. We just kind of like, okay, we're aware of that could happen, but we're gonna speak on what we want to create.
That's
so
good.
that's like maybe an insight
that can help somebody else.
It can help, they can help people.
Dodge the negativity, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't have to be like
and the naysayers.
Yeah, exactly. Don't let other people's opinions become relevant. Boom.
That's nice. Right. That's nice to have in like a partner.
Right.
Who's with you all the time, as somebody like you guys can kind of hold each other accountable for that, because it's natural. Some people do go straight to, okay, well this can't happen because of this or because of this. Like, keep someone around you and be somebody around other people who can kind of build up their ideas and their dreams. That's so important, because we already can think the worst sometimes, so we need people around us who lift us up and encourage us when we're feeling down.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, anytime you try to do anything that's out of the norm, people are like, oh, well, here's 100 reasons why you can't do that. Well, guess what? I'm about to do it because...
just have to block people out.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I just had somebody say the other day to me how they feel embarrassed when they watch their friends put, like, videos on Facebook and stuff like that. Like, they feel embarrassed for them. But then this person, like, posts their whole life, crazy happenings and stuff, and I'm just like, well... we're not embarrassed.
Well, I'm going to give an example about what we were talking about, and it's kind of off kilter, but it's the point that we're making about people listening to naysayers. With the conscious crew thing, we've been trying to mix consciousness with music for a long time. People are like, oh, the two don't mix. Well, guess what? We're going on our 5th conscious kickback.
Growing.
They definitely mix.
Yeah.
Growing.
I think they definitely mix. There's a lot, and music mixes with everything.
Yeah, I bought into that a lot. I'm like, well, maybe I'll just try to keep them separate. But actually, it's been a nice...
yeah, like, don't be afraid to try something new.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is the T?
Timebound.
Timebound, okay. So...
don't just say, I would jump in here and just say, okay, this is your 2020 goal, you're going to jump into it January 1st, for example. Just say, you know what? By 2021, I'm going to do this. No, it doesn't start December 31st of 2020. So being timely would mean, what are you doing this week? Or closer than that, what are we doing today?
Today, yeah.
At what time am I doing this? Because if I say I'm going to do it today, well, here comes 11 p.m. I haven't done anything yet. If I say I'm going to do it at 1 o'clock, and now maybe at 1 o'clock, I need to go run and do something important. Maybe an emergency came up.
Yeah.
But I know that at 1 o'clock, I've surpassed the time that I'm supposed to do this. So now this is now my number one priority. As soon as I'm done doing this, I'm going to get right back to what I'm doing.
Yep.
Okay, so then after I'm done doing that, at the conclusion of me working on this project today, I'm going to say, when's the next time I revisit this? So maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's next Monday at 1 o'clock or whatever. But that's how I run my schedule. And it's a little intense for some people. But like if you talk to bodybuilders
I'm sure you're
who
like
do
on the
well,
right track there.
you know, people who do well with the bodybuilding, they're consistent. It's all about consistency.
Yep.
That's the biggest key I can give away.
Yeah.
And this is, you know, we do mentorships too. So we work with artists and people that are in business. And we've got a few clients now. And this is, you know, it's like, we don't do the work for people. We just, like, it's about setting the goals with them and giving them the resources for them to be successful.
Yep.
So, and we also bring forth opportunities and, you know, especially in the music industry and things like that, we provide a lot of insight on and opportunities for people. But it's, you know, it's just important that people are measurable, you know, and timely with their goal.
Absolutely.
So personally, I struggle. I can talk to people about goals all day and I can give some insight and wisdom because I have tried and failed and given up even 1,000 times. But I have actually set some goals and made them. But overall, I would say I have a difficult time with it. So what advice would you give to somebody who, because I can see just from being your friend, just from working with you, that you are, both of you, are like when you have something in your mind that you want to do, you do it, you get it done, and you don't really let anything get in your way. So like what advice would you have to somebody who is like changing their goals because maybe halfway through when it's not working out they feel like it's not right for them, or maybe they have a hard time being consistent because I mean, like, there's people that have trouble with goals. I'm one of those people.
Right.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, it is.
To keep it simple, step one is a list.
Yeah.
Definitely a list. I learned that just that would probably be the first thing, and then kind of.
I guess for me it would be like remembering my why.
Yeah. That's
like
a good.
Remembering why I started,
yeah.
or remembering like why I wanted to do this in the first place. Like when I don't feel like being consistent, or like just. I guess that's my question. Like, how do you stay consistent and stay goal focused?
Right. So my thing is that I'm motivated by results. So if I see something I want to do, and then just talk about it, it burns me out. I need to see results. So, like you said, a list is good, but not just a list, but put time and take the things that are on your list and apply those to your schedule. So you have a list of wants right here. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put these on a time in my schedule. So I have my 2020 planner already. It's already got mine. So, and it's filling up with DJ stuff and all kinds of events, things we got going on. And I'm putting times in there, like an hour slot for each thing that I want done. I move those over. And other than that, though, it's about being accountable.
Yeah.
So sometimes I don't necessarily want to do something, but it helps me sometimes if, it's the morning and I'm looking at my schedule, okay, I'm going to prioritize the things. If I don't have a time slot on something and it's just on the list, I'm going to say, okay, when I got a free hour here, I'm going to prioritize the things that are on my list. And I'm gonna put number 1, number 2, number 3. So when that hour comes open, if I can do that, now sometimes things are gonna come up and I can't necessarily physically do that activity or whatever's going on. So I'll move to the next thing on the number 2 priority. Right. But I feel the accountability is one thing I wanted to talk about, and it's sometimes I'll call Rodney just to say, hey, we're still doing this. Okay, we're still doing it. Okay, perfect. Being accountable to yourself, because I want to see the results, but also, like, I'm accountable to be here and do this podcast because these two. You know, if it was up to me, I might have kept my ass at home.
Today, I definitely, if it wasn't for you guys texting me this morning, I might have just slept in. Because I thought it was Tuesday when I woke up. So you guys can already tell where I'm at. That is actually one of my goals, is to make it measurable, to actually stick to.
It's a skill.
To actually start learning how to make goals and stick to them better. Just because I have no doubt in my mind that I can achieve the things I want to achieve, but the only thing getting in my way is myself, like my own consistency, my own. It is nice to have people to, accountability, but even for yourself, there are things that I'm not working with a partner on. So, how bad do I want it? Am I gonna actually do what it takes to get the results that I desire?
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
2020, new me.
All right.
Yeah.
So our mentor program, I'll talk about that just real briefly. Like I said, we do work with people and helping them with their goals and, music business, other businesses as well. So our program, life skills, everything. And what you've been putting together as well is a class that we're calling Make Your 2020 Vision Clear. So that'll be coming out soon. But if you have any goals, if you are looking for someone to bounce ideas off of, we definitely provide that mentorship and that what am I looking for?
Support.
Yeah, support.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, guidance, maybe even a little bit of accountability.
Sure, I'll say, hey, you got that? How's that going?
It is just to receive like a text. Maybe if you guys aren't how often do you plan on meeting with people that you're mentoring?
It's on a person by person basis.
I've been doing mentoring for
but a nice text. Or an email.
It just depends on how often people want to talk. I have a couple people that I talk to like once a month, and then some people that I talk to every week, or some people even every day. So it all depends on the person. But what he was talking about was a class that we're gonna do, which I guess you can call it a class or a seminar, but that's coming soon. So
I'll definitely be looking forward to hearing more about that,
Yeah,
because I could definitely use some guidance myself, and I'm interested to hear what everybody's goals are for 2020. So if you guys want to start filling up the comments, letting us know what some things that you even use to work on goals, or things that you struggle with, or just what your main goals are for 2020, so we can even keep this somewhat of an accountability thread down there. Just check in, and we'll check in maybe in like a few months and see how everybody's doing on their goals, and do another podcast on that. Or I'm sorry, like a show or whatever. Podcast. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, like she said, make sure to leave your comments with your goals below.
Definitely going to comment later on and say what my goals are too, so if everybody wants to share that.
We'll also share the Conscious Crew goals in the comments below as well.
Yeah.
Kind of get that going. So, all right.
Absolutely.
Good luck on your 2020 goal. And
take care of each other.
We'll see you soon. All right.